Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about today is the Panama Canal and the drought. It is slowly slowing down the ships for shipping right now. The number of vessels that are waiting to cross the Panama Canal right now has reached 154, and slots for carriers to book passage are being reduced in an effort to manage the congestion that is caused by an ongoing drought conditions that have roiled the major shipping gateway since the spring. And the current wait time to cross the canal is now around 22 days. So the Panama Canal is a critical trade link for U.S. shippers heading to the Gulf and the East Coast ports. And the U.S. is the largest user of the Panama Canal, with total U.S. commodity export and import containers representing about 73% of Panama Canal traffic, and 40% of all the U.S. container traffic travels through the canal every single year, which is about $270 billion in cargo. The massive pileup is a result of water conservation measures the Panama Canal Authority deployed in late July due to the drought. And the PCA has temporarily lowered the availability of booking slots from August 8th to August 21st for Panamax vessels, which are the largest vessels that can cross the canal. And these vessels can carry about 4,500 20-foot equivalent units, or TEUs, which are the dimensions of a container. And the number of pre-booking slots was reduced to 14 daily from 23. Now, their latest reduction in bookings is on the heels of a PCA reducing the number of vessels which are allowed to go through the canal in a day. Starting on July 30th, 2023, the daily transit capacity of the Panama Canal was adjusted to an average of 32 vessels a day, 10 vessels in the newer Neo-Panamax locks, which serves the larger vessels, and 22 vessels in the older Panamax locks. Before the water conservation measures, transits were 34 to 36 a day. Now, when the daily capacity is reduced, ships lacking reservations are compelled to wait in line. And the Panama Canal Authority tells us that 38% of the ships waiting have these reservations, and the remaining 62% of the ships, they don't have the reservations, which means they have to wait for the vessels with reservations to proceed to cross this canal. So a temporary measure was put into place where 5 ships a day on the Panamax locks can traverse the canal on the first come, first serve basis. And the measure is designed to help reduce waiting times, but the backlog still remains. So the PCA said that the last time a backlog of vessels like the current situation was in 2022, when the world of shipping was impacted by the residual delays from the pandemic and the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, and additional lower water level restrictions imposed by the PCA in July also required vessels to be 40% lighter, impacting vessels that were in transit when the requirements were implemented. The Evermax was forced to unload 1,400 TEUs at the port of Balboa in order to meet requirements and then gain passage. And the vessel is currently anchored at the port of Savannah. So those containers left may need another vessel to complete their journey. And this is going to get a lot worse before it gets any better. And the canal lock uses 50 million gallons of water when a single vessel traverses the canal. So just think about that, 50 million gallons of water. So water levels in Gatun, and that's Gatun Lake, which feeds the canal, are at a 4-year low. Yeah. So this is really, really bad. I didn't realize how bad this really truly was, but that now that I'm thinking about it, you know how hot it's been, and then it's drying up all this water. Wow, yeah, holy smokes, Jeez, Mary Lou, whoo. So the canal is maintaining an open line of communication to keep customers informed about booking slot availability. So through regular updates, transparent dialogue, and close collaboration with shipping lines and stakeholders, they are striving to maintain expectations and provide real-time information that enables their customers to make informed decisions. So these vessels have to wait longer to transit the canal, or ocean carriers make a business decision to take alternative routes, which add time and fuel cost to their journey. And shippers use multiple vessels to move their freight, adds to freight costs, longer lead times to secure bookings, and ultimately these costs, they end up getting passed down to businesses and then also to consumers. So recent data that was released by the supply chain intelligence firm Descartes shows that the East Coast ports continue to be the preference for U.S. shippers, and the top 5 West Coast ports showed a decrease of 4.1% in July, and the top East and Gulf Coast ports processed an increase of 4.1% during the same time frame. So it now is not the time to further stress supply chains that are still straining under ongoing logistical pressures. And I just feel so bad because, this also takes the cake when we're talking about inflation and things like that. It's not just our government really that's, putting inflation on us. It's things like this, things that we don't actually realize. You know what I'm saying? So with the increasing difficulty of reaching the U.S. East Coast via the Panama Canal, importers are also looking at vessels that are transiting to the Suez Canal. Remember with that whole hoopla during the pandemic with the Suez Canal, right? So that's also another option, but that's on the West Coast. So, however, for northern China, North Asia, the deviation via the Suez can add 7 to 14 days of additional transit time. So if you're ordering a lot online or whatever the case may be, because I do know with, what is that one company? Is it Wayfair? Something like that. I think it's through them, because I remember ordering through them during the pandemic, and it took like a month to get chair covers or something like that. And here it was because of this, their stuff was coming through the Suez Canal. So that is just something that I wanted to bring to your attention. Okay. So anyway, all right, guys. Mom brain. My grandchildren went back to school today, so I'm trying to get a whole bunch done today. Quiet house, yay! All right, I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, you stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fearless. Ciao.